I want to break down the Baylor men's tennis roster for this season in 2024 and give my thoughts on the ceiling and the floor of the team. They do have two seniors in Chris Franson, that's 6'5", and Tadeusz Perulik, that's or aka Teddy at 5'10". They do have four juniors though, and Justin Braidman at 6'4", Oscar Bostrom Polson at 6'3", and he played at the 3 spot slash 4 at Middle Tennessee State last year. But he's definitely going to help in doubles in anything, I would think. There's Marco Novick at 5'10". I apologize for butchering that name. Then Isa Musa at 5'8". They do have two regular sophomores in Luke Koenig at 6'2". He enrolled in January a year ago, and he got to play. And Jean Borvelts that enrolled not like not this past fall, but the fall before at 6 foot. They do have two other, technically you could say sophomores as you will, but freshmen. And the first one is Amon Zavani at 6'1". He enrolled a year ago, but he was not clear to play. And he came a little bit too late anyway. But Mon Braysock could have played if the NCAA allowed him, because he enrolled not this past fall, but the fall before. Unfortunately, he was not cleared, and he could have helped this team last year. At least he's going to get the shot to play it. He's 6'2". Now, in terms of any regular freshmen on the team, there's only two of them, and one of them just enrolled, and hopefully there is no issues on playing right away. And Devin Badenhorst, he's 6'7". Yeah, he's tall, and there's Louis Bowden as well at 5'11". And I thought Devin was 6 foot. I've been saying 6'8", but 6'8", 6'7" is an inch is an inch. So this is my guessing, and assuming Devin gets to play this year, which hopefully that is the case. In terms of singles, I think Tadeusz would be the 1, then Jean-Bor at 2, Louis at 3, and then Devin. Assuming Devin gets to play, then I would say like it's gonna be among the next 4 guys, 2 of the next 4 for sure. And Mon Braysock, Marko Milanovic, Luke Koenig, and Oscar Bostrom Polson. That's what I think should be at least 2 of those 4 guys are going to be in the lineup. And possibly Ethan Musa. It's hard to keep him off the lineup too without all that energy if he saw last year. So that's really a lot of options at 5 and 6. And it's good to have that. And hopefully we are healthier than a year ago, because that was part of the issue last year, besides a tough schedule and losing your top 3 in the lineup from the year before, including one that just turned pro. I mean, that's the truth in all this. And if Devin doesn't get to play, we move up, like move Martin to 4, then Marco, then Luke, or Oscar. Well, but you get the whole point. You move up a guy. And I would think Amon Savani would be like the 10th guy on the team, right behind Ethan for now. I would think so. But then again, it's good to have options. And I would think Chris Franson and Justin Braidman would round out the singles type of deal. Now the doubles, that's going to be interesting, because I know Jean-Bor and Tadeusz didn't have a great fall, but Tadeusz did miss 7 straight weeks due to injury before he got to play in the fall. So that could have been part of the struggle, because it's hard when you're sitting on the bench and doing not a lot. It's hard to get back in the groove of things. So maybe that is the number 1 doubles. Now number 2, I think Oscar and Martin will be the 2, then or something like that. And I would put, if Devin gets to play, he should be a doubles guy at number 3, I would think. And maybe Louis Bowden at 3 doubles as well, though you could put Luke Koenig with them too, because Remember, Luke Koenig knows Devin. They're both from the same country. They played doubles together in the juniors, so that does help there as well. And we're going to have to wait and see on the doubles. It's just like a crapshoot on that. That's just me thinking, but it's good to have a lot more capable guys this year, and hopefully it'll be a better number 3 doubles. And I know last year we were kind of forced to put Justin and Christopher at number 3 doubles when we had to, and we kind of had, and Wampy didn't have Finn at times, so he had to move down to the number 2 double spot and put Tedious and Jean Bour at 1, but then we had to put Luke and Wampy at 2 last year. And I think if Martin was able to play, he would have been in number 3 doubles over Chris Francis or Justin. Either one of those 2 guys. I really would have thought. And maybe Ethan Musa does play doubles as well. We're going to have to wait and see. But it's a good problem to have. To have not enough, too many options compared to last year, not as many. Now, in terms of the floor of the team, in terms of like the NCAA, the Big 12, let's just start there. And we are preseason picked 4th, right behind Oklahoma State, but it's really tight between Oklahoma State and us by like 1 point. And preseason rankings don't really matter, and we're like number 25 in the country nationally as well. So, and we know that TCU and Texas are the 1 and 2 respectively. And it makes sense for Texas. They have a lot of experience. And they added some players, and they have more than enough guys, though we're going to have to wait and see if some of those guys get cleared. Or they're just redshirting this year. I don't know. Then Oklahoma's picked 5th, and UCF's and Texas Tech are tied for 6th. And then BYU's last. And all this, I would honestly say our floor is like top, like 5th in the conference. I would think. I don't know about 6, because because of what happened last year. Though I would think we have a better chance. We'll be better this year. That's just 5th or 6th in the conference. We can't be any lower than 7th, I think, because I think UCF and BYU are the 2 worst teams in the conference this year. But we never thought last year was going to be that way with all the injuries. And yes, Finn Bass got to play later on in the year, but he was just not the same when compared to the fall of last year. Because he had an excellent fall. It's just unfortunately he had an ab injury and missed some time with that. And yes, he got to play, but he was not the same. Then we were missing without him for a long time. And it's just hard to come back from injury and like that. And it really took a toll on the team. Because he would have been healthy, the number 1 guy. He would have been. And all this. We're going to have to wait and see if we make national indoors. I know Tulane, we get to play them first. And they're going to be an interesting match. Because they returned a lot of guys on their team from last year. In terms of singles and doubles. So, but we should still win. It's just the Arizona. We're gonna play Arizona or Miami, Florida, and I would assume we play Arizona. And we're going to play them at Arizona. No, we play Arizona at Arizona the week before, which that will help get ready for ITA kickoff weekend and get used to those courts and that environment as well. That's the truth. Also, we have Abilene Christian and Lamar first as the first 2, then at Arizona State, and then at Arizona before ITA kickoff weekend. And Arizona is a very dangerous team, so we're going to have to wait and see if we meet national indoors this year. And it wouldn't stun me if we do or don't. We're going to learn from it, from that match. right there, and we're going to wait and see what really happens. I would think the floor of this team, I really highly doubt around a 64, but then again, who thought that last year? Who thought that? Not me. Maybe I would have said, like, I think we were possibly could have been that, maybe a little like around more, like around around a 32. But injuries are injuries, and we're not playing well enough. It was just rough with that schedule, and that really affected things. And we were kind of flirting with the 500 rule, though. We added some matches in there just to get above 500. If it wasn't for that Florida State win, we would not have made a tournament possibly last year. Possibly. So, that's that. And for the national scale, I really highly doubt around a 64. Again, I really highly doubt it. I could think we go one round further at least, but it depends on the draw. In terms of the Big, like I already said, the floor for the Big 12 is like 6. Though the ceiling for the Big 12, I think, is 2nd. Because I know at TCU, unless they add somebody, they're going to have questions at 5 and 6. And that's the thing. They lose Sander Jong. They lose Luke Famba. I don't know about being first in conference because of Texas. That's the truth in all this. And we're going to know how good we are right away. I mean, not just Arizona, but we're going to have to play USC. But I don't know. And I know USC might have questions about their court one guy. But, it's at home. That's the whole thing. We should have more win. I think a few more wins than last year, I would think. But we're going to play not just Texas. We would play them once for sure. We don't know about the Big 12 tournament. We played TCU twice, so that really helps to get familiar with those guys at the very minimum. Who knows about national indoors if we make it there, or even we're going to play them? Who knows? We're going to get to play Ohio State, and they're returning a lot of guys. They don't only lose one guy. Maybe they're a guy short, but indoors they're tough. I mean, that's the thing. And luckily that match might be outdoors. And they lost to South Carolina last year. So, and hopefully we do better against Illinois and Wake Forest than we did at home last year. We get to play them. And ironically, Adrian Boitan is at Wake Forest, but we'll have to wait and see if he even gets to play. That's the thing. And hopefully we do it better against Illinois, like I said. And Arizona State, especially that second match against Arizona State, we lost despite having a 3-0 lead. We lost 4-3 in a battle, and they came back on us. Luckily, we get the TCU match at home in terms of Big 12. That's helpful. And we get Central Florida and then Texas Tech. At least we get both of those matches at home and not on the road. All 3 of those. Though we have to go at BYU, but we can't take them for granted. Though we have to play at Oklahoma. That's going to be interesting. Then at Oklahoma State. Then at Texas in the regular season with 4 straight road matches in there. Yeah. And then we play in the Big 12 tournament. Like the Big 12 tournament this year is in Stillwater, Oklahoma for this year. But in terms of, like I said, the ceiling for the team in terms of Big 12 is 2nd. I don't know about 1st, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see what really happens. In terms of the national scale, though, I think this team could find a way to get to the national site for the Elite Eight onto the championship in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Yeah, they're hosting the NCAAs this year too. So I think that's the ceiling. Sweet 16, Elite 8, that sounds about right. I don't know about Final Four because we might have to play like Ohio State or a Texas, or Virginia even. Those are the top 3 teams in my opinion. Though we're going to know Ohio State somewhat. And I know Ohio State won't play a lot of quality opponents prior to the NCAA tournament. Prior to that NCAA tournament because the Big Ten is not as strong. We'll have to wait and see on how Michigan is and Michigan State is. They're improving. And Illinois, that's really the battle for second place. But I don't know how many NCAA tournament teams the Big Ten is going to really get. So yeah, and from there, it all depends on the draw. And hopefully we are a top 16 seed this year. Though I will say there is a lot of parity between 5 or 4 really to 25. It seems like there's a lot of parity this year. So we got to prepare for every match, and I'm sure they will. And prepare for a battle. And we cannot have any bad losses like a year ago. Like Arizona State, they only got in because of the win over us. That's the thing. Too, and hopefully we beat all those teams that were preseason picked below. Below, and then beat Oklahoma State at Oklahoma State. And I know Oklahoma State's improving. They are. So beat those teams, and maybe we beat a Wake Forest. And if we could beat TCU one time, that'd be good. That would really help our top 16 chances, I would think, and beat Illinois. Definitely beating Ohio State or Texas, yes, that would really help. But that's gonna require that's gonna help the computer rankings down the line, which will be after the week of February 20th. That's when they're gonna start using the computer rankings on this. And I know SMU gave us a battle, even though we won 4-0. They battled to make it interesting. We had a chance to put them away in straights and not the doubles, But I have a good feeling that we're going to be better this year compared to last year. And we should be an NCAA tournament team no matter what. We should be. And we should have a winning record. Now, the question and the possibility of a top 8 seed could be there if it goes our way. And if you're a top 8 seed, you get to host not just the first 2 rounds, but the Sweet 16 match. So that's just an FYI and all this, and we're at the wait and see what happens, and hopefully we are healthier this year compared to last year. And the schedule too does have more spread out, and sure, we get the possibility of playing Arizona twice within a week. But after that, our biggest match is USC at home on February 12th. And I don't know how good USC is going to be. I don't know. And there's possibility of national indoors. Possibility of it. We have to wait and see. And we get Ohio State on February 28th, like I said, at the national indoors. At least we have a few matches after the national indoors to get, if we were there, we get some tune-ups. Not to take SMU lightly, but we should beat SMU and UTGRV in order to get ready for Ohio State. Then we have to play Illinois on the road, which they could very well be a top 16 seed. And VCU, even though we got that match at home, they were really good last year and they won their conference. And we should beat Cleveland State and Omaha as well. But if we could beat a TCU just once between February and March 10th and March 22nd, that would really help our rankings. That really would. So, anyways, like I said, the floor I would think is 6 in the conference, but I don't know how realistic that is. 5th or 6th. The best, 2nd in conference. I don't know about number 1, but I would love to be wrong about that, and I don't want Texas to win the conference on the way out to the SEC, but they're really loaded with a lot of talent and experience coming back. And in terms of the NCAAs, around the 32/64 is the floor, but the ceiling, Sweet 16, Elite 8, I don't know about Final Four. Though anything could happen once you get to the final site, because there have been upsets in the past. And if we do get to Final Four, I don't know if we're about going all the way. I do think this team is going to be heading in the right direction, because a year from now, we get to host the NCAA tournament for the team portion and the individual portion. The individual portion will be like later on this fall. I mean, in the fall of this year, and the team portion is a year from now. So that's going to really help. And we're going to be very experienced. And yes, we're going to lose two seniors, but one of those is going to be a consistent start in both singles and doubles. So we're going to be dangerous, and some of the better teams out there, like Ohio State, Texas, and Virginia, they're going to lose a lot of experience. They're going to. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit like and subscribe, and see you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal. It's 1,000 more. So make money off this. Of course, liking the video, commenting the video really helps the YouTube algorithm. Some more people can see it. Sharing the videos help as well. Some more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button. It's free. The notification bell as well. And the only reason why I'm doing it right now is because the matches start like a week from Saturday. So just an FYI on that.